What's good? Welcome back to the channel. Back with another video for you guys. 2006 Honda Accord V6. I'm getting ready to change the rear struts in the rear. So what you're gonna have to do, you're gonna find two levers, one on that side, one on this side. It's under the seat. You're not gonna be able to see it from here, but you're gonna mash down on your seat, pull the lever out, lift on this side. Same thing with the other side on the passenger side. Once you lift that up, you'll have access to two bolts up under here, one on this side, one on the other side, and they look like a 10 millimeter or a 13 or 12. We'll verify that and we'll be right back. Once you remove that, you can lower your seat back down. So let's do so. Let's get that and see what we got. All right, so from there, after you get those two bolts out, they'll be going right down in there. Okay, you're gonna slide this here up, cover on both sides, grab it and give some wiggles and pulls, and you might have to lift up your seat a little bit, and you'll hear it pop. And then just work it on up and out like so. Let's sit that down in there. You're gonna have to make sure you put your seat belt back. So from there, we're gonna use our key. You're gonna need your key to relax your seat. So for those who don't know, there's a spot where you put your key in. You're gonna twist it to fold your seat down. And let's let it all the way down. Now we got to remove this trim piece that's over here. So let's go ahead and set that down. Let's start removing this. All right, so you may or may not need a trim removal tool for this. You're gonna pop it from this side here and just work your way around like so. And let me help. And one more. All right, so now that we got those out, slide this guy out the way. Let's put it in the windshield for now. Behind the key, we can remove our key, and now we see our shock bolts. Okay, we got one on this side, one on that side. Now we're going to proceed to the driver's side, and same thing's going to apply for the passenger side. So we're only going to record one side, and I do believe these are 15 millimeters, but we're about to verify, and I'll meet you on the other side. All right, so back here you got two 15 millimeters. Okay, I have a 6-point. I recommend you use a 12 maybe for the back after you break it free, because it's going to be easy to remove. But 15 up front. Get some cranks, turns. I already broke that one free. And I'm coming from this side to get the socket on. Make sure you're on flush. And after you break it free, you should be able to try to spin it out. This is before we jack up the tire. So I brought me an adapter. Don't look like I'm gonna need it. So I got it broke free. But you may not have it all the way broke free like me. All right, so we got that broke free. Got that one broke free. So now that we need to jack up the vehicle, so let's do so. So next step would be to remove the 19 millimeters. Get all the guys out the way. Make sure you're all the way flush on your bolt, otherwise you can round it off. All right, so from here, let's get inside here in a sec. All right, and let's get us some light so we can proceed on this job here. All right, so after you get your tire off, you got a 17 millimeter right here. Goes all the way through the shot over to this side down here. I'm not sure if that's a fixed nut or not, but we're about to find out from this side over here. So let's do so. Set back up so you can see a little better. Just want to state that real quick on film. Everybody tries to rush these days. So here we go. Already have a short extension, but we're going to need more clearance for the impact, because that's what we're using. We also can use a breaker bar. And make sure you spray this down with some rust penetrant. So it's been on there quite a bit. So we're going to have to use our breaker, and let's see if we got clearance. And we should have enough clearance for torque. Make sure we're right, tight, left, and loosey. Let's go back in. You might have to adjust your head a little bit, so let's do that. And worst case scenario, well, that's worst case scenario. Well, we're going to bump up against the caliber, so we're not going to go that route. Just felt that. Let me go ahead and put another extension on that. All right, so the more extensions, the less torque leverage you have. So you're gonna have to hold the head of the wrench ratchet, especially if you have a swivel head like I do. So you have to hold the head, just kind of tease on it like I did, get the brake free. Now we can go back over to the impact. And going back to my 6 so we can make life easier. And after we do so, we can proceed on prying this out after we take our bolts out in the top area there on the inside of the vehicle. Make sure you're all the way on. And once you start, go all the way out. Sometimes they'll bind up a little bit. And this is a fixed nut, so you might need a punch or something to get this all the way out. So, that being said, let me see if I can back it out slow and it'll come with me. Yay! So didn't need to punch it this time, but sometimes you might need a punch. And we still may. Yep, we may. Once we move this, the spindle's gonna move a little bit. Might be able to wiggle up on it. Nope, we're gonna need a punch. Be right back. All right, got our punch. Let's go ahead and knock this through. This might move a little bit. It's gonna stick it inside of your bolt hole right here on this side. And just give us a touch. Just like so. And have you a magnet or something to clean your bolt off, because ours rolled on the debris and dirt and stuff. Don't get on there. Just account for the dude. Make sure you clean your threads before you go back in. All right, so now we're gonna go back inside the cab and take those two 15 millimeters off. We're gonna pry and move and pry and move. Okay. All right, let's just go together. There we go. All right, so now we got that in there. You may or may not need a friend. You're gonna have to kind of hold this up. So let me see if I can get him to put some weight on it, or I might even use the jack to help support the rotor a little bit. So yep, we're on a jack stand, so let's do so. I have to kick some of our stuff out the way. Let's get him over here, line him up, and let's go for the control arm itself underneath. Make sure we're clear on hitting anybody, and just kind of line it up underneath. You'll feel the control arm. I'm not going to bend over to show that. Go ahead and go more away from the rotor, and let's check. Make sure we're on our ball there. Give it some jack ups a little bit, just like that. All right, now we can go back in. Hopefully these are finger tight. If not, let's grab our ratchet again. Let's go back in. And it wasn't really that tight, but let's go from this side again. Up and over. I think that one is real loose. So let's go ahead and proceed on trying to twist it out. And it is. So we're just gonna twist it on out, the one that's in the back. It's not fun, but it's cool when stuff works out like today on the back. Front, we didn't have too much good luck. But the back is cool. It's coming along. It's coming along. So this is the one you're gonna have to finger tight, finger spin out after you get it loose. This one's not quite there yet. All right, now we go. There we go. All right, so now we got that one out, and we have weight on that. We're gonna release our jack here in a second. Let me set back up on the tripod. Keep these. I always keep my old bolts, even though they come with new. You never know when you'll drop one. All right, so from there, you seen where we were. Let's go ahead and release this down. And we're gonna have to start prying and moving and wiggling. I'm not gonna be able to show every angle, but move our light and get to moving. You may or may not, you might have to bang this guy out. We got a baby sludge close. Looks like we're bumping up against our sway bar itself. Sway bar link here. So we'll try to go down with it as much as possible. And then try to pry it out. So we're going to need a pry bar as well. Hopefully this one's good enough, otherwise we'll have to get the big dude. And this one doesn't look like we're going to be able to use it. Let's see. Because it's right up against the sway bar link itself. So as long as we can pry it down, it should be okay. Let's see if I can pry it down. So we got it loose. So yeah, this is the problem child here, sway bar. And I'm gonna probably have to get a real big breaker bar. I'm gonna get the crowbar. I'll hit pause on that real quick and we'll be right back. Alright, so before we do that and use that bar, we'll try to use this breaker bar here and hit it to try to get it to just drop straight down. Let's see what we get. Coming down. Let's try to pry. So you're going to be trying to do a lot of different things to do this job. Alright, so we're coming straight down, so I'm going to use something to knock it downward in that position down on both sides. Let's see if that's good enough. No clearance. We need a shorter breaker bar. Still bumping up against that. So let me see if I can get this out. We're gonna pry down and I'm gonna try to swing this inward. So go ahead and pry down one more time. Move what we need to move out the way for our leverage and everything. And we're gonna try to pry down on this again. And try to make it right there. And let's knock it out. Almost there. A couple more laps. Sorry if we're blocking the camera. I think we're broke free almost. There we go. All right, you're gonna hold that for me while I wiggle and move stuff. And we're gonna try to bring it out towards the door. All right, so hold on for a minute. Right away. There we go. Down. And our bar's in the way, so we're gonna come back a little further. Yep. Getting up and over. Just trying to wiggle it. Alright, so we're gonna pry on this side. Over here. Let you switch on this side with me so I can work this out. Pull the jack out the way, we need it no more. Send the way problemo. I'll go up under over here. Almost. If not, we're going to be going about it a different way. Let's see. Hold on a second. One minute. Hold on a second. Hold on. Alright, so we got him there. Let me see this real quick.
Yeah, in the spot.
Alright, you got a spot? Let's see what we get. Not quite there yet. Try again. Got slippage. Alright, let me see this bar. And how you hold up on this? All right there. Right. Use this leverage spot right here. And you're gonna have to come up over this. Go up straight. Cock him out. Yep. Keep cocking him. Bring him this way a little bit. Nope, not yet. Let it sit. Let it sit. Rest for a second. Right. So from here, we're gonna have to have some leverage probably from back here. So one of us, whoever's willing, is gonna have to lay on his back so we can pry this down so we can get it up and out. It's gonna come out this way, so that's the way we gotta do it. All right.
Pajamas.
Well, no matter. We're about to do it. So I'm gonna pry down as much as I can. I'm used to good from wiggling stuff out, so I'm gonna have you pry it. Because we're struggling a bit. And let's flip the camera up because it's blocking the view. And let's do this. Right here. Move stuff off the way is the key so you don't hurt yourself. Always move stuff out the way. Wear some heavy duty shoes. Alright. So we know where we're at up here. So we're gonna pry down now. Push it back up. Cock it over the pry bar. Try to get as much as we can. And if you can't, see if you can get between the pry bar and there. That's what I'm saying. No more? Nope. Alright, so see where we at. We're gonna struggle a bit. Maybe, maybe not. Hopefully yours comes out easier than what ours does. Well, it's doing. So from here, you're gonna pry down, wiggle this guy out, and you're gonna proceed on reversing on putting this back in. So give us a second and we'll be right back. All right, so make sure you match up your shocks. I'm gonna show you what we did when we put this back in and get it out, but make sure you match up your shocks all the way around and they should be the same. Maybe a little slight difference, but yep, most part, it should be the same. So we're getting ready to go back in with this guy. So let's set back up. Getting ready to pry this down, and we must move all the debris out the way real quick. All right, so it's gonna come with new bolts, so you're gonna want to remove those. I gotta put my demolition gloves on real quick. But you're gonna want to remove your bolts before you get started on putting this back in. And the way I was able to get this out and show you and go back in the same way, just follow that in reverse. Get these bolts off real quick. These are the new ones, so I recommend you use the ones that came with. They're a little more heavy duty than the older ones, but the old ones will still work too. Right, got those out the way. All right, so have a friend, okay? Unless you have a long breaker bar, you might not be able to do this by yourself. All right, so just prying down. We'll go in this way and go up. While I move this down, go down a little more. There we go. And let's go up with it. And go ahead and hold on a second. Don't release yet. Try that some more. There we go. Alright, that's release. Yep, right there. That's 1 second. Alright, so now we're going to go inside. I'm going to have him go in and hold put the bolts on. So you can release it. Good. Right. And that way I can line this up on the inside. So you're going to need a friend. And it's going to be hard to show you this up in here. Make sure my bolts see where they're at. What are we looking like? How far am I off? There we go. Got the bolts. But yeah, you're gonna need a friend possibly, especially if you're working on the ground, somebody at least put the bolts on and stuff for you. And to help pry down this a little bit. This applies for the passenger side as well. It's just gonna be the bolts are gonna be reversed in a different way. So your bolt is going in this way, might be facing this way as far as at the bottom. Okay. So we're good up top. We're gonna pry down and get our bolt back through. All right, let's see what we got. Come on down in here. And let's fix the cam. All right, so you're not gonna be able to see this side over here, but you're gonna want to line up your stuff over here. And we're about there. And we're gonna put this in the middle here. Keep going down, keep going down. A little more. There we go. Now we release. Yep, keep releasing. Yep. All right, so now that we're off, we're gonna go down one more time. Twist it over a little bit. All right, now let it up. Right there. Okay, you good? Mm-hmm. All right, so now that we're there, we're gonna play with this a little bit, and then we're gonna jack it up from the bottom underneath to jack it up. Let's do that now. Close our door for a moment. And if you're working on the ground like us, then this is what you're probably gonna have to do unless you got a different way of going about it. And let's go. go right up under the spindle. And make sure you don't hit anything. And I think it just popped in for us. Yep, it sure did. We ain't even hit it yet. A little bit of rust on the edges. All right, so now we're there. We're gonna just pull it back down some. And I'll let you know when. We'll give it some wiggles. There we go. All right, we're good. We'll let go. And we're in, so let's start cranking her. Make sure we got a few threads before we use our impact. And let's see if we got it. We might have to go get a 1/2-inch breaker bar real quick so we can do this. Yep, have to do it. Let me take my glove off. Yep. All right, so I recommend before you do anything is to always hand tighten going back in to make sure you feel the threads, because you will cross thread, you're gonna have even more of a problem. So after going in here, you might have to tap on this a little bit to get it to go in as far as your bolt, or you can tap directly on the bolt with a hammer or something just to get it up in there to touch the thread. Sometimes it's a little rusty in there. So after you get at least 3 or 4 of these, then I recommend you can use your impact or whatever, but just to show, we're just gonna hand tighten this all the way, because this is how you know when your threads are cool and you lined up correctly. Get my switch on axis there. I'm using this one, I'm trying not to block the view. You want to go all the way up. And you'll feel it stop. When it stops is when you get your torque wrench. Bam. So now we need our torque wrench. So from there, we'll get our torque wrench, tighten it down. Look up your torque specs, because I don't know exactly right now what it is. I know it's like 33 to 40 foot-pounds in that range, but don't quote me on it. But yep, make sure you tighten everything back up, especially down here when you're going back in. Jack it up, tighten down your top bolts just to push it up and make sure they can be flush on the inside. So yeah, that's how you replace the rear shock on both sides. Same thing applies. Might be a little bit different for the way the bolts are. But yeah, hit the thumbs up, like, subscribe. This helps you replace your rear shocks. Just follow this process in reverse as far as putting your back seat back in. Yeah, see you on the next video, guys. Live life, love it. Rust is the enemy always. Until the next video, I'm out.